Good cloudy morning from Sweden, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Steel 9, and I'm going to talk about and spoil the newest episode of Bad Batch Season 3, Juggernaut. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to get my. Sorry, literally just woke up. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to give you this plot summary and what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and what I think is going to happen next. If you want to keep following me reviewing the episodes as they drop, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be able to know when my videos are up. I hope to hopefully get more of a boost as I keep covering the Bad Batch and other Star Wars shows that drop. Anyway, let's get on with the episode. So, what happens in this episode is it focuses mainly on the Batch themselves. We do get to see what happens a little bit with Omega when she arrives on Tantus, which is because she voluntarily gave herself up to the Empire. We see her basically walk on in with, I have to admit, with a lot less guards pointing guns at her than I was expecting. So they walk her up to the main little medical bed area where Nalase would take her blood sample and then add it to the thing and test it. And then it cuts from there to the Bad Batch, where the Bad Batch are talking about, okay, Omega's gone, what do we do next? How do we go find her? Crosshair brings up, well, I do have one connection that can get us to Tentis. Of course, Wrecker and Hunter are like, okay, now you tell us. Crosshairs with the whole, listen, it's a last resort, but since it's a last resort option, we're gonna have to go pick up General. The name is escaping me. Basically, the general from the first season, the main bad guy from that season. He is apparently locked up on a prison camp, and we get to see a little bit of how much he's changed. I didn't recognize him because his character grew a full beard, which, of course, when we saw him with the Empire, he was fully clean shaven, so it didn't really connect to me. Oh, is that General? So, the treasure hunter from that keeps on popping up every now and then through the series, she eventually shows up as they're talking about. It's like, all right, so my ship still works, and how can I help you? Crosshair was like, yeah, so we need to go. It's basically a prison planet. Oh, let's go. So, it's kind of cool seeing her in the show because one thing I like about her character just kind of is a reminder of like, yeah, no, there are just some daredevils in the galaxy, and they know it. So it's kind of cool to see her pop up. They get to the prison planet in a stealth drop, where she basically, as she's approaching the planet, she basically turns everything off in the ship. As it's coming on down, from much of the last minute, she turns everything on, dropping off the Bad Batch at their drop zone spot. We get to see them also realize, okay, so the prisoners are on board these juggernauts, those 6 to 8 wheel behemoth armored transports that up till now we've only seen them really used in episode 3 during the Battle of Kashyyyk. This episode, we actually get to see them being used not only as ship transport, but also we get to see the armaments finally go off on them. And as somebody who likes big armored vehicles with guns, it's actually a really cool sequence. As they hijack it, they kick off the prisoners that are on it, except for the general, and then they blow on past the security perimeter. They fight off another Juggernaut, which was kind of impressive, actually. Although I was a little bit thinking, okay, why are they going back in the base? Why not just do the turnaround and then go back to the drop zone? That was never really answered. I think it's because Flurry was like, all right, we need to see this thing. We need to see these things firing off at each other, and it's cool. There's a Juggernaut v Juggernaut fight that happens on a bridge. At first they start blasting at each other, then it turns into a game of chicken. When the Bad Batch take the other Juggernaut's wheels out, they basically GTA ramp off it through the bridge, through the main prison camp checkpoint, and onto the main drop zone area. During the main drop zone area, we get to see the slice of the trailer where I think when I first saw in the my trailer reaction, I think I dropped the line, "Oh, cool! So they're breaking into one of these juggernauts or one of those armor vehicles, something similar to that." So, in that very narrow road with that giant cliff face right next to them, yeah, basically a battle goes on there as some troopers find a way to almost hijack it. I say almost hijack it because, well, the badge are the badge, and they beat him up and knock him off the transport. There is a little moment where, as they radio in the treasure hunter to come pick him up, there's a little bit of hesitancy from Wrecker to actually jump properly on it. But as the Juggernaut transport goes off the cliff, Wrecker does actually make the jump. And during that little pause moment, during that little hesitation moment, I'm like, listen, if you're going to kill off Wrecker, don't do it like this. Please don't do it like this. Which thankfully they didn't. So, yet again, us Wrecker fans are not crying because Wrecker's dead. So, Wrecker's not dead in this episode. That's the good news, guys. So, gets on the ship. Then, as the batch are flying away, they look at the Season 1 bad guy general and say, okay, no, sorry, Season 2. He's in Season 2 because I just remembered he didn't pop up much from Season 1. This is still waking up Sea-Whip, so I could be wrong on that. But point is, the earlier Imperial General, not General Tarkin, the one underneath him. That one, yeah. And he says, alright, well, there's a way I could help you guys do it, but it's a little more complicated. Alright, how complicated? And then the episode cuts back to Omega during this entire time. Yeah, just keep on teasing us with answers, Bad Batch. Keep going. Yeah, that's helpful. So, Omega is shown where the new Volta is and what her new home is, and sure enough, her blood count actually is favorable to whatever they're doing, and we get to see her go into the vault where the rest of the Power Rangers are, as I'm calling them. As she asks, so who are these guys? With the main bad guys like, yes, these are the other pieces to the puzzle and your new home. And that's how the episode ends. Did I like this episode? Yeah, actually, kind of a lot better and a lot less ham-fisted than the last episode felt. It also didn't feel like filler. It actually did feel plot relevant and such. Plus, it didn't feel like they were dragging it out. Okay, actually, in terms of the whole series right now, it is feeling like they're dragging it out, but not as dragged out as the last two episodes. That's the good news. So what do I think is going to happen next? This is the part of the show where everybody pops out their popcorn and see how wrong I'm going to be about next episode. Now, what I think next episode is going to be. I think there's going to be another adventure focusing on the Bad Batch trying to get to Tantus. It's going to take up most of the episode, and we're going to see, like this episode, a little bit of bits and pieces sprinkled around here with what Omega is going through on Tantus. Maybe some interaction with the other 4 sensitive Power Rangers there. That's probably where next episode is going to have. Also, this episode, the assassin trooper didn't take his helmet off, so I've seen a little bits of pieces, headlines, or YouTube videos where people think that assassin is tech. Maybe not, is my opinion. I haven't looked into it. I might make a separate video just trying to show my opinion of that theory. I hope Tech doesn't pop back up. I mean, he was a great character, don't get me wrong, but if the Imperial Assassin is Tech, that'll be a little bit too obvious still, you know? Because that'll be one of those, okay, is he back? Is he back yet? Is he back yet? Is he back yet? That's what it'll feel like, you know? So, plus, again, it'll be showing the Bad Batch show really doesn't let death matter, which I've said before in the past reactions and episodes that death needs to matter in Star Wars to give it some more teeth and more weight to it. So, because the Bad Batch, at least pretty much since the Clone Wars, every animated show, Filoni hates killing off characters, but it's called Star Wars. Characters die or get mortally wounded. You know, let it be wars. Let teeth actually happen in the show. So, a lot more pleasant to sit through than last episode. Again, a lot less ham-fisted, and yeah, I'm kind of glad they're not rushing to Tantus like they did to get Omega just immediately off Tantus in like 2 episodes, you know? So, yeah, those are my thoughts and my opinions and what I think is going to happen next. I don't see anybody dying yet in next episode. Because of that little hesitancy from Wrecker to jump on the ship on time, maybe Wrecker might get banged up pretty badly next episode, but that's probably the only canon I could see likely being either messed up or killed next episode. So, which, in that case, all us Wrecker fans are going to cry a little bit. But it is what it is. So I hope you enjoyed this little spoiler review episode, meandering, waffling about. Like, share, subscribe, follow, and during this little vacation I have in Sweden, I did double check how my scheduling is going to go. I should be able to record the next episode properly when it drops. If not, like today, the day after it hits the internet or something close to it. A lot of things are going to be going on in Sweden. I'm not going to divulge real life stuff unless they're relevant to YouTube stuff. Alright? So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, the Seal 9 out. And may the Force be with you.